let's stop pretending that we don't feel it. Something in the Beyonce universe is shifting, and not in a cute new era kind of way. I'm talking about disruption, a break in the pattern. That tight Virgo level control that we've come to expect is slipping. And that's not shade, that's the tea. So in this video, we're going to get into it. Act one, act two, act three, the timelines, the hidden messages, the Jay-Z mess, the whispers of fallout, and what's actually coming for Beyonce. And while the sudden speed up of everything is low key a signal of something deeper behind the scenes. Buckle up. This isn't gossip, it's a download.
Let's talk about it.
I want people to have fun. Let's kick back. Let's get into a little tea. Let's not get too crazy, but let's enjoy the sip.
Clock that tea.
But let's get to the chi-chi, the kiki, the internet bull.
What is going on, y'all? It's Santana, better known as Aubrey when I'm doing these more spiritual, personal, astrological, psychic type of videos. Because, you know, personal connection to me. And it's less about Scott Santana, the brand and the character. And it's a little bit more personal, okay? Y'all know that Scott don't miss. And I'm learning to stand on business, okay? Because everybody and their mama knows I offer spiritual reading, spiritual consultation. I say it all the time, baby. I am a psychic. I'm a light worker. I'm a healer. I'm an astrologer. I am a spiritual therapist. I am all of that in the above. And so when it comes to personal healings and like you guys needing, you know, different guidance and how to move forward, whether it's with life, career, relationships, money, whatever, I'm always on point and I'm always there for and always down to do a session to help get you to where you need to go. And even though we watch TV shows together and I throw out my predictions and, you know, if it's something going on in the world, like i.e. World War III, Diddy, Trump, Kamala stepping in after Joe Biden steps down. You know, I've said my predictions, but I haven't really stood on business, I feel, in a way in the past that I probably should have. So we're going to start changing that. We're going to start changing that. And I guess that change starts today because I have a lot of massive downloads when it comes to Beyonce, when it comes to Jay-Z, when it comes to Act 3, when it comes to what's coming next, when it comes to what's coming up. And I've actually been speaking about all of this for the last couple of years. Now, y'all know a couple of months ago, Jay-Z was in the headlines a lot over allegations that had come out. And of course, you know, you have people that were team Beyonce, team Jay-Z. Oh, he couldn't have done it. Why are they trying to take down every black man? First it was Diddy, now it's Jay-Z. And ooh, look at us in real time. It's Tyler Perry. Like, you had all of those people, and I kept my foot on everybody's necks, and I kept saying, just wait. Because just like I had put out predictions that things were coming down the pipeline, I even pretty much predicted down to the day that the news was going to break. Like, the news literally came out exactly when I said that it would. And I said, I promise you, this is not the end of the story. Where there is smoke, there is fire. I also remember how Jaguar Wright was speaking a lot about Jay-Z, and she was even on the Piers Morgan show. And, you know, a lot of people had things to say. Oh, Jaguar is cuckoo crazy and oh, da 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 da. And I tried to tell people, listen, if she's able to speak on a national television show like that, that means that there's already things going on in the background. We do not know everything. And I know that y'all like to think that y'all know everything because you are a fan of these people, but you don't know them personally and you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Okay. There is more coming. And we will get to that within this video when we get to that. So first off, I want to start off with, you know, just some random predictions. Like, even though this is going to be structured, it's not as structured because, chat, I would be sitting here all day if I try to find every last prediction from every last video and every last tweet. But I do have some pulled up that I kind of want to just get through. Okay. And this is in no particular order. This is literally just me going on Twitter and just searching up some shit just to prove a point within this video that Scott don't miss and I know my shit. Okay. So February 4th, 2024, I said, I don't think we're getting a typical country album from Beyonce. I mean, yes, she'll have her true sound the country, but if she really started writing the 3 projects during 2020, I expect that it's basically going to give Old Town Road. This was before the album was announced. I was right about that. I also said Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, basically that the signs were there. She had been told us. Everybody forgot because everybody was trying to act like, oh my God, what's the genres? What's the genres? She had been told us when she did the magazine. Obviously disco dance, obviously country, obviously rock. Okay. Now, March 7th, I believe this is after Beyonce had already dropped the country singles, Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages at the Super Bowl back on February 11th, 2024. And the album wasn't yet announced, okay? Because when I was searching for tweets, to prove my point and prove that I'm that bitch, I found this tweet and I was like, hold up. Did she? Because the singles had dropped in February. So, like, by this point, had we already known? I looked it up. No, Beyonce had not officially announced the album until, let me see, I believe it was. I believe she didn't announce the album until maybe like March 19th or something like that, because she did a whole rollout. Either way, March 7th, that's when Beyonce's music site had went down. And I said, listen, bitch, we already know that you dropping Act 2 on March 29th. What else you got to say, Bianca? Because at that point, she had not released the album date, and I was right about the album date. Okay, let's keep going. So, this is kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but I had originally felt like, and I still feel like, okay, Cowboy Carter dropped March 29th. Renaissance dropped July 29th. I feel as though for Act 3, Black Betty, I feel like it was supposed to drop November 29th. I do. Now, that could have been a date where the tour announcement was. It could be either or, even though I strongly feel like it was the album that was supposed to drop then. But it didn't, because what happened in November? It was all of the Jay-Z allegations that came up, right? It was the Jay-Z allegations in November or December, right? And then in January, we had the fires. But I still, in my heart of hearts, believe that 11/29th, we were supposed to get something. I feel like it was supposed to be the album, and I feel like Cowboy Carter and Act 3 were supposed to go together. Okay? Because it just made sense numerically-wise, numerology-wise. It was 4 months in between. Okay? Let's move on. Beyonce started teasing something that was coming January 14th. We already know that was the tour announcement at this point. I had said I see a white horse that's fading into black, going from Cowboy Carter to Black Betty. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I still stand on Act 3 is coming sooner than later, because I have been saying that. Okay? There's only a very limited window that Beyonce can drop. I have been telling people, I tweeted this on November 1st, 2024. I've been telling people since January, Act 3 is dropping sooner than people think. Again, at that point, I was still saying November 29th. But Beyonce has been prepping her exit since she resurged in 2022. Her and Jay-Z are very much into astrology and the occult, and ain't no way they're not trying to prep and get ahead of North Node and Pisces. Okay? On December 27th, I said, so that rules out January 14th. Notice how the font is the same as whatever she's promoting for that date. It's giving, there's about to be a tour with Act 3 following, meaning immediately after. We're going to get to that. Okay? Keep going through my tweets. I say 2025 to 2027, about to be a lot for Jay-Z and Beyonce, especially with their North Node going into Pisces. We're getting Act 3 quicker so they can go MIA. Beyonce doesn't have another 3 to 4 years to wait for another album. We're getting that shit sooner than later, and that's just the T. Act 2 and 3 for the Black Betty tour, I can most definitely see happening, or even a chicken circuit style. Okay, because she had brought the truck back. Now, when it comes to Act 2, right? When you Google Chitlin Circuit, it says Chitlin Circuit and the Road to Rock and Roll. So I said, hence why I feel like Act 3 is going to be a motorcycle and not a horse. Transportation between the two, the Road to Rock and Roll, right? So someone said Act 1 was the anchor, Act 2 the interviewed, okay? Act 3, and then I said Act 3 is the rebellion era, so it'll be culprit, victim, perpetrators. Keep that in the back of your mind. Another prediction I threw out there, May 2025, I said, once Beyonce is done with Act 3 and she's reclaimed rock, dance, and country, it wouldn't be so far-fetched for her to have a radio station that specifically features Black artists, okay? Or artists, of color that, that natural shout out. And okay, because I don't know if it might just be a Black thing or if it's just, it could very well be a Black thing, but just, alternative artists will say, right? So while everybody was bitching over, oh my God, Beyonce came and, how dare they now have contemporary dance versus traditional, and contemporary country versus traditional. It's like, that gives people a chance to fit in. Like the Shabuzis and the Tanner Adells that normally wouldn't have gotten a Grammy now have a chance to, because of Beyonce. So everybody's taking the offended approach versus like the good that comes out of it. And I feel like it's possible that after all the acts are done, part of her gift back to the industry is like an XM Sirius type of radio station that plays kind of all of these alternative artists that would not necessarily have had a chance before. Right? Okay. So somebody said Beyonce is being abducted by a future version of herself. they're noticing from the tour visuals and all of that. And I said, Cowboy Country is past, Black Betty is present, Renaissance is the future. Act three's tour stage will be based off a Venn diagram in the Washington Monument. And we'll get to that in a second. Renaissance is the future. Cowboy Carter is the past. Act 3 is the rebellious revolution that sparks a change, which is us presently. Beyonce thought Cowboy Carter was first, but the universe knew the world needed Renaissance to reset after C19. It's Pluto and Aquarius type shit. So right here is where I get more into what I mean, because somebody was talking about the stage and how it's definitely rock and roll. And then I said, the 3 stages is the Lincoln Memorial, the Courtyard, and the WW2 Memorial with creative flares. Cowboy Car, and then the fact that WW3 is being announced. This is not something, I mean, I knew WW3 was coming, and I also said around this time that, you know, stuff would start happening, but that also ties into all of this as well. Cowboy Carter is the past where we were. Renaissance is the future of where we will be. Act 3 is a rebellious present. Her and Kendrick are also the modern day Malcolm X and Martin Luther Kings. Take a look at this, right? You can kind of see it better here. You can kind of see it better here, right? You have the Lincoln Memorial, then you have the World War II Memorial, then you have this long runway right here. And then there's supposed to be, I don't know if it's going to pop up. I don't know if it's going to pop up, but there, oh, right here. This tweet right here. Watch the Act 3 stage have Beyonce in the middle and the floor pits be like dueling Venn diagrams or some shit with them connected and a walkway at the end, because Act 3 is a merge of the future and the past, Renaissance and Cowboy Carter. So I personally feel like, okay, and this is my prediction for Act 3, the Black Betty tour. I feel like this is how it's going to look. It's going to be like the Washington Monument. And knowing Beyonce, she could even do a creative theme to where it's a honeycombs, like honey pits, like honeycombs, right? But you see how it's like the stage in the middle, or technically the building in the middle, Washington Monument in the middle, and then it's like a Venn diagram. You have like 1, 2, 3, and then you have the backstage part. Some iteration of this, trust me, it's going to be some iteration of this, and then this would be like the walkway. There's going to be some iteration of this, trust me. Almost kind of looks like a big toe thumbnail, if you think about it, toenail. See, here's a example of a Venn diagram, different, same, different. A Venn diagram is a graphic organizer that uses overlapping circles to depict relationships, similarities, and differences between ideas, groups, categories, or concepts, okay? And that's really what all of this is about, okay? February 3rd, I said, if this don't tell you that she's rushing Act 2 and into Usher Act 3, I don't know what to tell you. I was right about the tour and right about it being a chitlin circuit, because that's another prediction that I had way before it was announced, that the Cowboy Carter tour would be a chicken circuit, right? So here is when I posted. I said I was right about the tour and right about it being a chicken circuit with spot dates. Literally what I said verbatim in multiple videos and tweets. And this is what we ended up getting. A chitlin circuit with multiple dates and whatnot. Now, I always kind of thought, and I don't know if this is more so prediction wise or just like my ego and my mind, you know, assuming, but I thought it would be more like a carnival based type of feel. But I guess, you know, let the art and music speak for itself, right? But that's exactly what we got, is a chitlin circuit with spot dates. Exactly what I predicted. And I said, Jay-Z is going down, and they're both aware of what's coming. Stay tuned for March and September. And what happened in March? The allegations in the case got dismissed. And you would think, well, Sky, doesn't that prove you wrong? No, bitch, because that's not the end of it. You think that, okay, because we're still going to get to it. You think that shit is cool, and it's not. You think you in a clear, and you're not. You think, oh, my money is paying people off, and I'm not scared enough people. It's not. People get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and we have seen multiple times after multiple times that it only takes one person, one brave person to come forward, and then the floodgates open. Okay. And this time there's going to be receipts. There's going to be dates. There's going to be facts to back up everything. It's not going to be oh, some random chicken. Oh, this might have happened at a party. And no. And I'm going to just say this now, jumping ahead. And everything I say in this video is alleged. It's all allegedly. Allegedly, I guess, until it's confirmed. Allegedly. But allegedly, way more infidelity than we think. We thought Lemonade was it. We thought Becky with the good hair was it. Way more infidelity. Somebody gonna get pissed off, and it is a scorned lover, but it's a bigger deal than that, and we'll get to that when we get to that. Okay. And I said September because it'll matter then, but August is the key month that everything changes. Okay. You know, so let's just scroll through this a little bit more. I'll talk more about the Chitlin circuit. I'll talk more about the Venn diagram. Okay, and that's where we're just gonna end that. All right, so let's just get off of that. Get off of that. Get off of that. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into the video, shall we? Let's get into my tweets because I want to give y'all the short version and then I will give y'all the extended version. So the short version for the people in the back with ADHD that can't focus, let's just jump to it. I believe Beyonce's Act 3 is dropping August 29th, 2025. And here is why. Aside from me being psychic and know it all, okay? Aside from me being psychic and knowing it all. 8 equals power. It equals rebirth. It equals transformation. It equals legacy. 2 plus 9 equals 11, which is a master number tied to spiritual alignment and revelation. 2025 equals a 7 universal year about introspection, spiritual breakthrough, and truth telling. The whole date of 8/29/2025, the whole date adds to 28/10/1, which is new beginnings, bold, trailblazing energy. Beyonce doing a rock album on that day, on August 29th, would hit like, I'm not just switching genres, but I'm reclaiming sound, I'm reclaiming rage, and storytelling on my own terms. Now, music drops on Fridays, period. And the 29th is the only one in 2025 that lands on a Friday. That makes it rare, symbolic, and intentional as fuck. Because Beyonce doesn't pick random. She picks energy. With Act 1 and Act 2, everything has been around astrological transits like new moons, etc. Beyonce is a Virgo sun. That means solar power is at its peak. Her creativity, visibility, leadership, and divine timing are all amplified. Virgo is precise, intentional, the curator, the architect. So a rock album would meticulously be crafted and emotionally raw, which is classic Virgo. End of August is post-summer, pre-award season, when artists drop statement pieces and statement albums that are meant to shake the table and stay in the conversation all fall and winter. So that way it leads right into Grammy season and award season. So it's giving, here's the album, and yes, I'm taking over the Grammys again, differently this time. I feel like Act 3 is going to be Beyonce's most vocally raw album, and she's going to be dropping truth bombs, calling out systems and naming names more than she has done before. It's about releasing illusions and false expectations, grieving what she's had to sacrifice and standing on business. Act 3 is going to drop without any promo. It's Beyonce saying, I've mastered every genre, broken every rule, survived every era, and now I'm going to blow it all up on my own terms. And with that said, people will think that the lead single dropped 7/25, but it'll actually be 7/29/25, as in July 29th, 2025. Let me say that one more time. People will think that the lead single is going to drop 7/25, July 25th, but it'll actually be July 29th. Now, the reason why it'll drop July 29th is because, number one, people expect a July 25th drop. With the last show being on July 26th, it's a Friday, the day before, so it's expected, right? In the last show with a bang, oh my God, she got to be dropping something. Is like another version of My House about to come out? Like, is it going to be something that leads us into Act 3? That's what people are expecting. Well, number two, expect the unexpected, which is exactly what the rock theme is all about. Number three, July 29th is the anniversary of this whole trilogy of Renaissance. Number four, July 29th is also a Tuesday, which was the original music drop date before Beyonce changed it. It's a full circle moment. Now, everybody is expecting a July 2025 drop. That won't happen. Everyone expects a 2026 Act 3 album. That ain't happening either. The whole point of rock is rebellion. So expect the unexpected. This is why Beyonce is breaking her promo and release pattern and going back to Tuesday. It's literally on theme for the era. Beyonce switching her music back to Tuesday on July 29, 2025 is as if to say metaphorically, I played by y'all rules till it didn't work. I had to show y'all that I could do my own thing, and I did that. But now I'm back with the system, but doing it my way, integrating me on my terms. Let's go back to the bookmarks. Because when you think about the stages, and all of this, that when I said that the Black Betty tour is going to be based off the Washington Monument and then Martin Luther King, and then Abraham Lincoln and Malcolm X, and how they're all tied into it, and then the Venn diagram and how that's going to be the setup. It's the same exact shit. It's the same exact shit. And when I say, where is it? When I say Renaissance is the future, Cowboy Carter is the past, and Act 3 is the rebellious revolution that sparks a change, which is us presently. Act 3 is what ties everything together. It's the integration. Okay? It's the reintegration. Right? So it's all connected. It's all connected. It's all connected. Okay? Which is why I say Beyonce switching her music drops back to Tuesday on July 29th, 2025 is as if to say metaphorically, I played by y'all rules till it didn't work. I had to show y'all I could do my own thing. I did that, but now I'm back with the system, doing it my way, integrating me on my own terms. Because here's the thing, right? This is about being oppressed by the system. This is about being shut out about something with something that is like rightfully yours, right? So even as I said in the next tweet, I said, here's the thing people get confused with rock and just rebellion and protest, period. It's so easy to say fuck the law and the government and get caught up in the action and the anger, but structure is still needed. It's just that it has to be the right structure. The type of structure that doesn't oppress or weaken its people, but protects the people. So that reintegration post-rebellion is so necessary. Because yes, sometimes you do have to burn the building down and burn the structure down and then rebuild, but like you still have to build. You still like it's still necessary. Even if it's burnt down and rebuilt, its existence still needs to be there, even if it looks different. Right? So that even plays into the whole of her dropping on a different date, right? Like going back to the Tuesdays, because it's like, look, I played by y'all rules. It did not work. Right? So this is essentially saying in the government and society, I played by y'all rules. It didn't work. I had to do me. I had to go out in the world, do me, show y'all, okay? Come back and show y'all that it could be done. And now that y'all see that it could be done and you see the impact that I've made, now let me come back to the table and let's negotiate some shit and build a better future on my terms. Or at least on terms where we can all feel like we have something of value to add and not just me coming in and being shut out and y'all telling me what to do. I'm playing by y'all rules. Does that make sense? That's literally what this is all about. Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. This is what everything is about. So I go on to say them Jay-Z allegations is coming. Likely, and I give a date, likely the Lionsgate portal, 8/8/25, August 8th, 2025. But I always tell people, give or take a few days, because energy is energy and energy be energying, okay? And there's God's will and then there's free will. Things can happen, things can shift. Especially when you're dealing with other powerful, potent people like Jay and Beyoncé, who are very aware of astrology and transits and the occult. You don't get to being the point of a billionaire without understanding all of this spiritual and astrological and this whole occult world. So I always say when I give a date, this is the date that I'm feeling, but give or take a week, a few days, whatever. Okay, so it's really the whole month of August, I'll say. But there's a lot going on, right? Them Jay-Z allegations is coming around August 8th-ish, after the Act 3 single drop, but after we're already looking forward to the new album. And it's so strategic that it's not even funny. An alibi, a redirection, a distraction, and the news is going to come from a woman who's done protecting him. I went on to say a little bit more. I said, there's a woman that's about to blow the roof off these Jay-Z allegations. And not just cheating and sex, but abuse of power and a betrayal of trust, safety, etc. We've seen this before. One person speaks and the floodgates open. This time it's going to stick, though. And she's a behind-the-scenes girl that we've seen before. So now, listen, I just gave you everything from my tweets. Now we about to get into it detail by detail, a little bit more structured. Go ahead and like the video.
The universe is me, double T to the Y, and it won't stop till I wake up and realize that I am the 1, 2, 3. I am the bitch that these little niggas need. How you gonna escape when I am the key? That's why everywhere I go, they following me like damn. Get back on track with who I am. Every day is summer than this life span. Look in the mirror, tell myself again. Self-love and happiness is all about I got swing. Happy, doing what I please, trying to do what I need, whatever it takes to be free. I wanna be happy, doing what I please, trying to do what I need, whatever it takes to be free.
Okay, so let's get into it. The timeline and the drop patterns. Here's what we know. Act 1 dropped July 29th, 2022, with Break My Soul dropping a month before in June. Act 2 dropped March 29th, 2024. And again, with the lead single, well, 2 actually, that dropped shortly before February 11th, 2024. So now fans are watching July 25th, 2025 like hawks. Why? Because that's the day before her final show of her current tour. And it's a Friday. So it's a perfect single drop date, right? And why not close the show and close the tour with a bang? Because I mean, honestly and truly, like when you look at the fact that, okay, this is already a short tour with spot dates, like people are waiting to see the gags and the reveals, especially being that ever since Beyonce went overseas to Europe, it's been gag after gag after gag. And so they're like, oh, well, we already know to expect this in Houston and Vegas. And yeah, so a lot of people are expecting something. They may not be exactly expecting a single to drop or the album. They're expecting something. But here's the twist. That's not when it's dropping. That is the distraction. July 29th is a Tuesday, okay? But that's also the exact anniversary of Act 1, Renaissance. And remember, music used to drop on Tuesday before Beyonce shifted the entire game. So what if she's bringing it back full circle? Okay? So we've already picked up on the possibility of a July 29th single drop, followed by a full album on August 29th, also a Friday. And August 29th, that date is suspiciously energetic. It's screaming culmination, closure, exposure. So why the rush? Why now? This is where shit gets real. Because let's be honest, Beyonce doesn't rush. She's a fucking Virgo, right? She moves with intention. She wants and waits years before she drops another project. She controls every little detail. So why now? Why now? Okay, to the people in the back that's like, oh my God, you guessing and you're doing too much with all of this. Okay. When it starts moving exactly like how I said, you have to ask yourself, why now? Because Beyonce does not rush. Again, she moves with intention. She waits years between projects. She controls every detail. So why now? Why drop Act 2 with limited rollout? Why jump into Act 3 just months later? Why disrupt the pattern that's already always been calculated? Because something is coming. It's something that I've spoken about, something that I predicted. And no, this isn't just spiritual woo-woo. No, this is about protecting legacy, about getting ahead of something. We've already tapped into the energy surrounding Jay-Z, and I promise you it's not good. There are whispers, energy, signatures, and a ticking karmic time bomb. And Beyonce, she's not just reacting. She's orchestrating because she knows. She knows. She knows. They both know. And there's a sense that this rollout is strategic damage control. You know, very much like, let's perform niggas in Paris. Why these niggas in Paris? Strategic damage control. And Act 3 is a final bow, a mic drop before the storm, a rock opera exit, if you will, before the revelations land. So let's get into Jay-Z and what's brewing. We're not going to dance around it. We're not going to beat around the bush. Allegations have already been circling. Okay, but Spirits made it very clear there are a lot more. Where there's smoke, there's motherfucking fire. Palisades, Los Angeles, January 2025, fire, baby. I'm talking about a woman, industry adjacent, not famous, but not unknown. Okay, somebody who was close enough to know everything, but silenced when it mattered. And she's strategic. She's not messy, but she's done being quiet. And her timing lined up with Beyonce's release schedule. Oh, baby, this isn't this isn't coincidence. It's karma and choreography. Spirit doesn't play. Okay. And what she knows, it's not just affairs, it's control, it's manipulation, it's crossing professional and personal boundaries, it's being used, promised, discarded, it's receipts that changes how the public sees Jay-Z and how the industry responds. And it won't just be about what comes out, it's about who steps forward and when. Especially after she does. Let me say that one more time. It's not just about what comes out. It's who and when after she does. That's when a real avalanche is going to begin. So let's talk about protection mode and Beyonce's final move. This entire shift in timing, it's Beyonce securing her energy. Dropping when she wants, not when the industry expects it. Closing the trilogy that was never meant to be dragged out. Sealing the vault before it cracks open. The reason August 29th feels so final and so faded is because it is. It's not an ending, but a severing, a spiritual cord cut. And its full circle moment of Renaissance ends where it begins. And what comes after? silence, distance, off-grid power, getting off the map. Because Beyonce knows. She knows. Beyonce knows. And when this fallout hits, everything will be under scrutiny. And she's reclaiming the narrative now before somebody else tries to write it for her. Let's talk about the collective impact and why some of us, like myself, feel it too. Because here's the wildest part. This ain't just about Beyonce. The energy is collective, right? If you've been feeling anxiety, sadness, grief, like something is coming, you're not crazy. You're synced. This is a purge. We're all going through it. There's a whole video I could do about how yesterday I got so triggered because I know certain things is coming up for me personally. It's a collective thing. We're all going through major shifts in life right now. So seriously, I encourage you to go to my website, thealigningsouls.com, and book you a motherfucking alignment reading. I promise you. Especially once all of this information comes out, okay, and it becomes true. Y'all better light my motherfucking Cash App the fuck up. Okay, y'all better light it the fuck up. Sky S93, y'all better light up my Cash App. It's in my description box. Light it the fuck up. Okay? And book y'all motherfucking readings. Because there are energetic shifts going on. And Jay-Z, Beyonce, they are human. They're also going through some shifts. This is a purge. It's a collective purge. This is the real Pluto and Aquarius, as well as other transits that are going on. But we are witnessing the fall of curated perfection, the rise of exposed truth. And Beyonce, the queen of control, is leading us straight into it. Not with her words, but with her moves. This is legacy management on a cosmic level. So let's talk about where it's all headed. What's next? A drop, a leak, a statement, but something big tied to Jay-Z. It's a firestorm of conversation, a wave of silence from Beyonce. And then a shift, a reinvention, a new archetype. Because this isn't just the end of a trilogy. This is the beginning of a different Beyonce. One that does not need to speak, post, or approve. One that just is. And to those still watching her through the lens of 2016 or 2022, baby, you're already behind. This is Act 3. This is the revolution. And when the curtains fall, don't say you didn't feel it coming. So I don't know if this means just a separation, if this means my man, or divorce. I can see it going any of those ways, honestly. I really can. But there is a lot coming. There is a lot coming. A lot coming. And I don't know, man. It's gonna get crazy. Okay. So some key dates to look out for: July 25th, right? Because it's tempting because that's the day before Beyonce's last show on July 26th. People expect the final bow, a surprise, or a lead single here. It fits her old pattern, release music on Fridays, but it feels like a decoy. She's not giving people the satisfaction of predicting this, right? And if you think about July 29th, what is that? 4 days after July 25th. And what do we know about that number 4? When it comes to Beyonce, when it comes to Jay-Z, right? Even if you don't believe all the spiritual hoopla and all of that so raven psychic shit, you got to admit all of this sounds logical, okay? But that July 25th date is a decoy. She's not giving the people the satisfaction. Like I said, the vibe is going to be suspense, misdirection. And this is when people think something's happening, so she lets the expectation build only to break it. But then July 29th, that Tuesday, that is the spiritual strike. That is the date Beyonce owns industry rules. Tuesday was the original music drop before New Music Friday started in 2015. How powerful would that be? How powerful would that be if Beyonce is like, bitch, I broke the standard and now I'm returning it back? Like, I need y'all to think, turn it on, hear what I'm saying. Feel me, feel my energy. Go book a read in thealigningsouls.com. Trust me when I tell you, Beyonce, queen of music, king of music. Only she has the power to do that. What better way to end the story and close out this act by saying, bitch, I fucked up the music shit. Now I'm restoring balance after I done came and fucked shit up and showed you it could be done. It feels like a reset. Not just a reset for Beyonce, but a reset for music, for culture. This is a full circle moment. It's a rebellion, right? So 729 equals spiritual disruption. It's industry disruption. And she loves that. Beyonce loves that. Okay. And it also falls under a waning moon, symbolizing the shedding of illusions and secrets starting to crack and power shifting behind the scenes. Because Beyonce is all about making sure her music is aligned with astrological transits. And once I started realizing that, I started following suit after that. It's a reason why everybody loves Billionaire. I dropped it intentionally around certain transits and intentionally wrote it and released and just everything surrounding Billionaire. I did it for a certain reason. So for those that love Billionaire and feel like it's crack, it's for a reason. Okay. I followed the Beyoncé format, the Billionaire format, right? But August 29th, 2025, the album, the main event, 829 equals numerology number 11, a master number of spiritual awakening and karmic closure. It's a portal, perfect for wrapping the 3-act trilogy. Timeline wraps up with Act 1 dropping on July 29th, 2022. And then exactly 3 years later, the finale drops on a symbolic Friday. The vibe, revolution. And let me say that one more time. 3 years later. I'm sorry, Act 3 drops 3 years later. So Act 1 dropped July 29th, 2022. And then exactly 3 years later, Act 3 drops on a symbolic Friday. I'm telling you, it makes logical sense. Even if you push your intuition aside, logically on paper, it makes sense. So the vibe will be revolution, the final act of control before the chaos hits. So let's talk about when Jay-Z's Truth hits the fan. The window between that, like I said, I feel like August 8th, Lionsgate, around that, if not that exact date. I must remind you, I've been right about a lot of dates. A lot of dates I've been right about, a lot. World War III, when all of that would kick up. Even with that, I told y'all before, July 4th, I don't know if it's this year or next year. Just, it might be more fireworks than what you're expecting. And I'll leave it at that without flagging my channel. But back to this, between July 29th and August 29th, that window is going to be highly active because all of the Jay-Z stuff is meant to come in and disrupt Act 3. It's meant to. The way it's karmically playing out and spiritually playing out, it's going to be messy. It's going to be, the universe is tired. The universe is tired. Spirit is tired. Okay, it's like y'all keep trying to be like, y'all trying to pay people off. Y'all trying to do this a certain way. You're trying to move a certain way. No, bitch, let's show the world what the fuck is really going on. Okay, so that window is highly active. The truth teller, the woman, she's going to emerge somewhere after that lead single drops, but it's going to be before the full album. Okay, so somewhere in that time period, before the full album comes, but after the lead single drops. Trust me. Okay. And listen, if everything that I'm saying, if it comes out that all of this was that it didn't come true, I'll stand on that. I'll eat that. Okay. But let's talk about why. Because it disrupts the rollout without derailing it. Beyonce lets the album land, but the storm brews while she stands in power. And then metaphorically, even with the album and the theme, hello. So it could drop the first or the second week of August, but very likely anywhere between August 8th and August 15th. Okay. It could even happen when Mercury stations direct August 19th. I don't know. I haven't gone into I haven't taken a look at Beyonce and Jay-Z's charts because that'll better tell me like an exact date. I'm just going off of downloads. Okay. So, I can always do a follow-up video where I like dive into his chart and see what exact date it's gonna hit. But yeah, I'm just going off of downloads and give you a timeline estimate. Okay. But both is gonna equal receipts dropping, secrets exposed, and collective outrage. Okay, and let's talk about why the timing is strategic. Number one, control the chaos. B drops music first so that it's her narrative before it becomes theirs. Number two, distraction, layering. The press is focused on Act 3, but the personal storm beneath it builds. So she's moving ahead of the scandal, not reacting to the scandal, right? We ain't got time to talk about that, bitch. I just dropped Act 3, the same act that y'all was waiting on, which is also the finale. And then the finale is always about being rebellious and saying, fuck the government, fuck the news anyway. Like, do you see? Okay. So number 3, symbolic breaks. She's breaking cycles, burning scripts, and claiming space as her own. And the timing reflects that. So this is where we end. This is where we end. And I want to do more stuff like this, but it'd be hard to do stuff like this because when it comes to one-on-one readings, that's completely different because I'm sitting down with your natal info and all of this, that, and the third, and making predictions, and it's way more spot on. But when it comes to powerful people like this that also are just as in tune and then have money and power and resources and understand how to manipulate time and energy and space, and it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. And I don't know how to explain it. I feel like only people that are like really, really like deep spiritually will understand what I'm saying. Like it's hard to like I can give you downloads when it comes to B&J, but like when it comes to B&J and like certain people in the industry and even with like certain like things with the world, like it's hard because it's so much money, power, resources, and they understand, they truly understand, even if they make it seem to the general public like, oh, it's all bullshit. No, they would not be where they are without all of this spiritual talk and all of this astrology talk and all of this. Right. But they understand how to weaponize the occult and manipulate the occult. So like everything can be 100% true, but like they know how to weaponize and manipulate to a point where they can now make it not true. You're only going to understand that if you are spiritual, like deeply, like, okay. So I love to do one-on-one personal readings, and those are always spot on, but it's harder to gauge with this type of stuff. So that's why I pop in here and there sporadically, but I just had to get this off my chest. Spirit said I had to say something today, and this might be part of a new era for me where all of this ends up coming true. And then it's just like, oh, I can finally stand on business the way that I want to, like without fear that, you know, because ultimately it comes down to like, I know my shit, and y'all know Scott don't miss. And again, anybody that's ever had a personal reading with me can say that the shit hit and was on point. But like when I started speaking about big stuff like this, there is that fear of, damn, if it doesn't come true, I don't want people looking at me like I'm a liar and like, damn, well, why would I book a read? You know, I don't want it to fuck up my personal business of doing readings. So that's why I don't speak as much as I should. But today I just had to say something, especially because it's so time sensitive. And I've been right about a lot of this shit. And even with some of the stuff that I wasn't technically right about, like no album didn't drop November 29th, but I told y'all Jay-Z allegations was coming. I even said the specific date, and then it happened exactly like that. And that is exactly why the fucking whatever was supposed to drop on that November 29th, that's exactly why that didn't happen. Because you had the Jay-Z stuff, and then you had the LA fire stuff that ended up happening like 2 months later. That's why. And that was also around the time of the Lion King premiere, and then Blue with the dress. And I'm telling you. And I could even do like a reading where like I sit down and figure out, well, what actually was supposed to happen that day. But yeah. So I hope all of this made sense. I know it's all over the place, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, we wasn't supposed to be here long type shit. And yeah, listen, if y'all need some help in your own life, bitch, go get a quickie reading. Okay, get a quickie reading if you broke. Okay, but y'all shouldn't be broke because payday is tomorrow, or you should already have them coins stacked up because we boss bitches over here. So fuck a quickie reading, how get a full alignment reading. Get a full alignment reading. Let's get you back in shape. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you feel like you just working against the grain and you being dragged in quicksand. Every time you get paid, it feel like a punishment. You in a loveless relationship. You're trying to find a man. Whatever it is, you're trying to relocate. Whatever it is you need help, clarity, and guidance with, I am here for you. I got you. That is why I am here. And especially if you are watching this after this tea comes true, my site better be booked the fuck out. My Cash App better be cashed the app fuck up. Okay? My site better be booked the fuck out, and my Cash App better be Cash App the fuck up. Stop playing with me. Put some business on my name because y'all know Sky don't miss. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye. And yes, I'm still a Beyonce stan, but girl, get away from him. Get away from him.
Keep watching my social media, changing my Wikipedia. This journey to the top and tedious. I will stop.